Hello, everyone. This is Ali Vogel from Flexi Design, and I am here with none other than Mariana Pedroza, recording our podcast, Flexible by Design. I'm especially excited to record today because Mariana is not only a designer, she's a brand expert, she's had an entrepreneurial venture, and she's kind of one of those people that just like tinkers in all of the cool, new, and trending technology. But today, she has a very interesting role in which she's actually leveraging that to build scalable and flexible design systems within the brand and marketing world. So I'm so excited to invite Mariana to the stage, to our podcast, to tell us a little bit about herself, her background, and what she's up to today. So, Mariana, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself for us?
Thank you for that nice introduction, Ali. Sending you love. If I have to introduce myself, I would say Mariana, your fellow Mexican friend. A lot of people don't know that I have a background in industrial design, so I'm sharing this here as something special. And I started my career in ergonomics, as boring as it sounds. It was a super interesting world. I used to work in a German company. I discovered UX design. Then I started to do projects as a freelance with my friends. And after that, I entered into the fintech world. I work in like the biggest bank in Mexico City, one of the biggest in Latin America, BBVA. I help my design team to achieve really high quality on their design practice. And all my background was into that, like how can we teach and how can we develop design skills in young designers, because there were like a lot of boot camps on UX. Like there were boot camps all around and people were trying to upskill and to change from graphic design to UX design. So in our team, we had a big challenge that we had a bunch of designers, industrial designers, graphic designers, but none of them were specialized in user experience and service design. So I worked over there developing skills, checking like how can we create a better culture and design practice in the team, and scaling the team. A lot of people in the Latin America community knows me because I actually did hundreds of interviews. I interviewed all LinkedIn. Like I was looking for designers everywhere. We scaled the team from 60 designers when I entered the team into 246, I guess,
Wow.
left the team. Yeah. So we had to build a lot of infrastructure, a lot of cool stories over there. Then I jumped into the entrepreneurial world because it was COVID. We were bored in our rooms with nothing to do. And NFTs and the crypto bubble started. So I was super curious about it and I developed some cool projects in that sphere, then started to develop tools for creators that were creating art in the crypto scene. And then AI hits the streets. And then I decided to take vacations after 5 years of non-stopping working. And now I'm directing all the brand efforts at AstroPay. AstroPay is a company based in London. We are on the fintech side of things. Basically, what we do is we are a multi-currency wallet. So we help users that need to handle like different types of currencies to make their life easier. And we have markets all around the world, but like our main market right now, it's in South America. On the other side of things, creating my little worlds, my art and my little stuff.
So tell us this, Mariana. When did AI become part of your vocabulary? And how did you start to notice that it was really going to significantly transform your workflow?
So it was 2017, something around that year. Moved back to Mexico City after living in Guadalajara and also like living in Europe for a while. And I was super young, and I was looking for a job actually because I was a bit tired of being a freelancer. So I have a friend that he works on HR, and I asked him like, where should I work? This is what I know. This is the skills I have. I've been working as a freelancer doing apps and also as a scouter of futuristic insights in Continental. Where should I focus my career on? And he told me like there is a really interesting startup that is like growing right now called Goose Chat that it doesn't exist anymore because it got acquired and they are doing a pivot into AI. And I was like, but what am I going to do there? I don't know if AI it's going to be even a thing, you know? I'm a designer and they are designing chatbots. I know how to do interfaces. I love graphic design. You're telling me that I should move to a world where it's only words? Anyway, I had the interview and I really loved the vision of the company and the CEO. So imagine this. They used to be like Rappi before Rappi was mainstream.
Mm.
So they would be this chat concierge where you could ask for whatever in Mexico City. They started to grow and they discovered that the only way they could grow in a sustainable way was leveraging AI. So they were creating their own algorithms. We were training our own technology and we were pivoting into more like an agency of chatbots and AI and licensing our technology. So it was amazing. I discovered how machine learning worked. I discovered how to build the architectures. But to be honest, at that moment, we were more building like these logic trees, of like answers more than leveraging AI because it was super wild. Like we could get really good answers, but also a lot of what the fuck answers.
It's so interesting that you say that because I remember it was the same year, like 2017. I was working on the chatbot team at this company called WalkMe, an enterprise software company that's now part of SAP. Chatbots at the time were so popular. There was actually a conference that I went to called the Chatbot Conference.
Oh my God.
And my team went and, represented, and it was very logic based decision trees that people were using, to your exact point. So it was like kind of a dumb chatbot, but we're like, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. And then, like you said, 8 years later, we are using this chat interface, but the bot itself, of course, still has hallucinations. It's not 100% perfect. But I think a lot of us could not imagine that it would be as strong as it is today. So to your point, I think even if it entered our vocabulary 8+ years ago, it really, until the last 3, 2, even now with all the new models that are coming out, hasn't even reached its full potential, but we're starting to really see how it can change our workflows. And one thing I wanted to ask you about, speaking of wild, is you had a LinkedIn post, and I'm going to put it in the footnotes here, that
I know.
blew my mind. So this idea of like scalable components and being able to integrate AI to really meet this level of production hadn't even really crossed our minds yet. And you actually put that out there. Clearly, this is something you've been thinking about for a long time. Tell me about your workflow today. How are you integrating AI and how are you thinking about it from the branding, marketing, and creative space?
I believe that I'm a really practical and hands-on person, but I'm also quite philosophical. And I think that that's my artistic side. I'm always thinking on how these new technologies are shaping the way we work and how can we use them for good for us. I believe that that's why my logic or my intuition got me into trying to leverage a process for all my team in which we could collaborate together using AI as one of our teammates. So anyway, the process I follow right now is unpopular opinion. I am not using ChatGPT anymore. Sometimes I use it for really specific things because we have some GPTs that are trained on our voice and tone. We have one that it's trained in all our like terms and conditions, and we are a regulated financial institution, so we need to be compliant on the way we communicate. So I use ChatGPT for those kind of things, but I moved to Claude. I believe that UX is superior. The responses are really good. It codes. It's more ethical. So we
Mm.
have campaigns that we need to launch to communicate stuff to our clients. So I discuss with Clyde the campaign. What is it about? Any relevant information I need to know or Claude needs to know to help me. And I start there an organic conversation with the AI where I try to ask what what things are am I not seeing in this brief? What could go wrong? Can you check what everyone is doing regarding this topic and bring me fresh ideas? Like I feel that like the system has to be part of the team. Then we have a brief, we move that brief to production, and on production side, we are using a lot of generative AI and we are experimenting a lot with all the tools that just come. For sure, we have tried them. We have tried something called Hexfield that if you want like the Gen Z perfect look, it's amazing. We're using, of course, the new Mid Journey video thing that they just launched last week. We are using Google VO. We are using Flora. Flora is super interesting. It's like a canvas where you can mix different AI models to produce things. So we are experimenting with generative AI a lot, and we cut all our costs in photography and mostly on video. Like, of course, we have a TikTok team that it's producing organic media and they are recording and everything, but a lot of costs of production we cut them off because we decided to be this team of super radical persons embracing this new technology and to explore a lot. When we have like the graphics, the videos, everything, we input them into either Figma for graphic design, where we have like a super cool design system for marketing that we built over there. Also, we are leveraging some tools there to do some automations. For example, there's a plugin where you can put all the copy you need to inject to a lot of templates just straight from a CSV. We are editing also with AI tools. Some things we do it on Premiere, but a lot of things we do it on Descript. It's just like editing a Google Doc. When you erase text from a transcript, it erases it from the actual video recording, which is amazing. Doing sounds using Suno, upscaling and generating images using FreePix. So for copy, we have our trained GPT in ChatGPT that will create beautiful and on-brand copy. But then it comes AI once again, because you need to analyze the data.
Right.
And to analyze the data, we use AI to analyze sentiment, to get insights like why this post is getting so much traffic. There are things that you can actually infer as a human, but it's interesting to also challenge the post and challenge what you are putting outside with an AI and discuss on what are you putting outside in the TikToks or in the Instagrams.
And how have your posts been performing since you started this new workflow?
Really good. Like we got a lot of really good performance. I would say that it's different from platform to platform, but there are some platforms in which we have been having more than 100% of performance every month. In other ones, it's more difficult because also like now I'm in the business of attention, which is another topic, but it's also super difficult to get people attention nowadays as a consequence of technology.
Hmm.
We had a lot, like this bubble of jobs was amazing 5 years ago, but now like a lot of layoffs, people are struggling, and there are not so much open positions right now. I would say that that's the case, for example, in my team. We are a small team. Now that we have all these tools, we don't have any open positions as we used to have in the past. But I do believe that once all the designers are on board of this new technology, like we will start to push the market once again and to prove the value we have, because nowadays I feel that it's something related to value, because in the end, the only ones that know how to design are us, the designers. So if we want to create an agent, you need to teach the agent to think like a designer. You
Mm.
need to input the agent the tools and the ways of thinking that you need to produce the output. So
Mm.
I believe that also over there, like designers that know how to do this or are experimenting on this are thriving. So hopefully it's just a market adaptation and we will all get on board on these new things that are popping every now and then.
That makes a lot of sense. And I think also to your point, your team has shrunk, but it sounds like your numbers and your productivity have accelerated. But
Yeah.
then you're predicting that there's going to be some kind of inflection point where maybe you will start to need more human brains, human minds. What do you expect that that is going to look like, right? Now that you kind of have such a lean process and your outputs are so strong and month over month, everything is increasing. Like you mentioned, even 100% like month over month, which is pretty crazy numbers. Like, what do you imagine the future of your team to look like? And what kind of people will you need to complement the technology that, or like, let's call it like the technological infrastructure that you built?
So I believe that there are two paths. One, it's the robot educator.
Hmm.
And the robot educator should be like a designer that has a big, huge background in design history, design good practices, ergonomics, theory, like a really nerd and a really theorist person that also knows how to put hands on, that it's going to be teaching and training and getting the right outputs every time. I believe that that's
Like
like the
really solid foundations of principles of design.
yes, really solid because that's the only way you can actually get the results you want.
Right.
You can input a general prompt and you will have a general result,
Okay.
which is good. Sometimes you need that. As we gather all this information and we need to perform in a certain way and we need to get certain type of user and use certain type of communication and language, and you need a brain that has really solid foundations to achieve that.
Right.
And I believe that the metric over there or the way, the thing that they are going to pursue is fully automation on the creation of things. Because now we need a lot of supervision and like AI is part of the team. But there is like domesticating and creating an autonomous designer.
Let's talk about something that has been a huge struggle on my team. And I want to hear about how your team has received it. So one of the struggles I've had with mostly folks on the creative team is that creatives see themselves as out of the box thinkers, right? Like the value that not just design in terms of function serves, but design in terms of form is really something that is different, is thoughtful, has like kind of a stroke of genius to it. And I've noticed that even with how AI focused my team has been, there have been some feelings of resistance and resentment, especially among the designers in the creative studio. Again, many have adopted it, but some are still struggling with coming to terms with, you know, the assistance of AI in at the level that you're talking about. Not like, hey, let me prompt Claude or ChatGPT to give me some inspiration, but like this fully autonomous system that you've developed on your team and seems to be working really, really well. So first question is, do you feel that on your team? Like, do you see it with some of your team members? And two is, what would you say to designers either that are experiencing this on your team or that are listening to this podcast and are feeling like this kind of like ick or this cringe of like, maybe we're just going to be AI domesticators and like all creativity is out of the window from like the human perspective? Like, how do you frame that? How do you think about that?
In my team, I don't sense that fear because I have been trying to push into them the curiosity to use these tools and to tell
Mm,
them like the only way these tools are not going to replace your work is if you know how to use them. And if you are superior, you are domesticating, you are educating them, you are leveraging them and putting them into a system, into a systematic workflow. So I don't feel that they are like that resistant. They are even like super hyped. It's a way to keep momentum on the curiosity, and the culture of trying new things and empowering my creative team. And also, I feel that there are things that have more value when they are handmade.
Mm.
Now that I work in marketing, marketing is like the never ending machine of content. We need to produce infinite. Every month that we are doing our planning, and my team asks me, how many posts are we doing this month? I'm like, infinite. So I try to keep in my mind that in order to achieve and deliver the right message, we need to think in terms of infinity and abundance. A lot of content has to be outside. But when you save time doing some automations, you can actually have time to do things by hand. So, what is helping us and also to keep our motivation is that we are learning a lot. And now I have a full team of generalists, which is amazing. I don't have a copywriter, I don't have a video editor, I don't have a media planner. I just have a bunch of designers, artists, and creatives with like a full set of skills and access to AI, and they can tackle anything. And if they don't know how to do it, ChatGPT can teach them. So it's super
Love
cool.
it. I love it. It's really music to my ears, especially because I remember we were in Miami for Art Basel and you were doing this incredible mural. And the person that was directing it said, Mariana's not like me. Mariana's actually an artist. And this person, has a big following in the design world, in the art world, but recognize that the work that you were doing, like the physical work of like painting this mural, of doing graffiti, of doing this physical art is such a craft in itself. And yet, here you are now, years later, not that many years, but a few years later, directing this team of creatives. And you're basically saying, hey guys, let's be a team of generalists. Let's have these super solid foundations in visual design, in our craft, but let's explore. Let's be curious. Let's learn new tools. Let's learn new skills. It's about that curiosity that's really driving you forward. And I've seen AstroPay, the company you work for, you still have people on your team that have been there for years and from the beginning. And it seems like the people that had that curiosity, that wanted to continue to learn and to grow and evolve and adopt this process that you brought, have really been able to take their skill set to the next level. And as a result, take the company's visual language and process to the next level, which has been absolutely amazing. And I'm going to actually go ahead and link some of the old visuals versus what you see today. And it's really night and day. So, Mariana, before we close out here, I want to hear about your predictions for the future. What do you see in this next, let's call it 3 to 6 months, as one of the biggest trends in the AI/design world that we're going to be seeing?
So, first of all, like I feel that the way AI startups are monetizing is going to shift. I think that the credit system is gamified and it's nice because like you as a user can see scarcity and use your credits wisely. But I believe that now that we are entering into mass adoption, because I feel that we are entering into that stage, as we're moving into that stage, I do believe that these business models are going to evolve. That's one prediction. Another prediction I have is that if we go back, we have the dot-com revolution, then we have the service revolution, the experience revolution, Airbnb, Uber, like the service revolution. And I believe that the next big market that it's going to be disrupted is actually the media companies. I'm directing a music video with a musician in Argentina, and I trained AI to look like him so I can produce content here in Mexico City. So next revolution is going to be young kids producing their own movies about the things they actually love and the topics they like, and they are going to put them outside. And the other one is that I believe that offline and handmade production work is going to be more valuable. And we are seeing that. For example, here in Mexico City, like I love it because there are a lot of little shops with arts and crafts and like things made by hand, and they are full of people that they do still love those kind of things. So as our virtual worlds are getting inundated with synthetic media and with synthetic objects, the organic world, it's valuating a lot offline experiences and arts and crafts and things made by hand. Also, a lot of designers are getting into the vibe code movement, which we didn't jump into, but like it's a huge topic. I think that Figma is trying to enter that world with Figma Make. My brain right now is I'm gonna jump into Lovable, make a working prototype, share it with the developers, and that's it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I believe that like in the next 3-6 months, we are going to be that mental shift in designers as well.
So interesting. Okay, so last thing we're going to do here is we're going to put you in the hot seat where I'm going to ask you a couple rapid fire questions and
I
you just
have been
have
in
to
the hot seat all this hour. Come on.
we're going to get you even hotter, Mariana,
Okay, okay, okay,
even
okay.
hotter. Okay, so are you ready? Okay. Favorite design tool?
Figma,
Favorite AI artist?
Diego Rivera, maybe Matisse, Frida Kahlo, of course. I'm being such a cliche, but I have been revisiting their work and amazing. And yeah, those are good.
Favorite new country that you visited in the last 9
I believe that you have an agenda in that question, Argentina.
and your favorite style of taco?
Oh, this is super difficult, Ali, because I could say my top three. First style is the carne asada style from Hermosillo, Sonora. Second style, suadero from the streets of Mexico City. And third one, I would say pastor, of course, from La Colonia Narvarte. That's it.
Super,
That
super
was the most difficult
special.
question, I would say.
So, if people listening to this podcast want to get in touch with you and want to further discuss any of the topics, what's the best way to do so?
Instagrams, go there /Mariana Pedroza. I'm super annoying. You can go to Twitter also or to LinkedIn. Yeah, I'm all around.
Mariana, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it and can't wait to hear what you guys think of this episode.